Albert Einstein rushed to the hospital with severe chest pain. What he didn't know was that the largest blood vessel in his body, the aorta, had swollen and torn near his abdomen. He was suffering from abdominal aortic aneurysm, and he was bleeding internally. At that moment, he was actually busy preparing a speech. Once, one he planned to read on live TV to mark the 70th anniversary of the founding of Israel. Doctors immediately recommended surgery, but Einstein, who had already gone through the same procedures 8 years prior, knew. He knew this might be the end. And with graceful acceptance, he uttered these now immortal words. I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It is time to go. I will do it elegantly. And he did. In the early hours of the next day at Princeton Hospital, Albert Einstein passed away. If you ever watched the show House MD, you've probably heard of that hospital. Funny enough, the hospital shown in the series had nothing to do with Einstein, but the writers likely chose the name on purpose. What did happen in that hospital, though, is far stranger than fiction. Only 7 hours after his death, something unusual happened. Pathologist Thomas Harvey, without the family's permission, removes Einstein's brain during the autopsy. He cut it out, preserved it in formalin, and froze it. Believing this brain held the secret to Einstein genius. But here's a twist. Einstein had specifically requested that his body be cremated and his ashes scattered in secret, precisely to avoid being idolized or turned into a scientific relic. So yes, Harvey violated Einstein's final wishes. And not just that, he also removed Einstein's eyes and gave them as a gift to the scientist eye doctor Henry Abrams. Realizing the controversy he might face, Harvey eventually managed to convince Einstein's son, Hans Albert, to give retroactive permission with one condition. Einstein's brain was to be studied only for scientific purposes, and any findings had to be published in respected academic journals. Harvey agreed. He even promised to publish the results within a year. So what did the scientists actually discover? Did Einstein's brain really hold clues to this extraordinary mind? Let's find out. Before we dive in, a quick word. It's false. Here's one of the most popular myths about Einstein. Despite being a genius, he supposedly got terrible grades in school. Why do people love this idea so much? Simple. If even Einstein was bad at school, maybe I can still be great too. But let's look at the facts. Einstein's actual high school transcript from September 30, 1896 shows the opposite. In Switzerland at that time, the grading system went from 1 to 6. 1 was the lowest, 6 was the highest. And guess what? He got 6s, the top grade in algebra, geometry, physics and history. 5s in chemistry, natural science and German literature. 4s in driving and geography. Only one subject, French, did he score at 3. Not bad at all. In fact, in a letter Einstein's mother wrote to his sister, she proudly says, Albert got his report card yesterday. He is first in his class again. So yes, Einstein wasn't just smart later in life, he was an excellent student from the start. Of course, like most students, Einstein did clash with a few teachers. One famously said, I wish Einstein was never my student. But it wasn't because he was lazy, it was because Einstein would sit in the back and smirk during the lessons. The teacher felt disrespected and once even snapped, you will never amount to anything. But anecdotal moments like that don't paint the full picture. Look at the broader trend and it's clear Einstein was far from a bad student. So why myth of the failing Jesus, failing genius. Maybe because it makes our own imperfections feel less less limiting. But the truth is, Einstein succeeded not because he ignored school, but because he was deeply curious, relentless, and yes, top student. So if you want to think like Einstein, don't mythologize him. Understand him, learn from him, and ask better questions.